Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we have a very interesting review impressions of a knife that I received through the pass around. Thanks to Kevin over at Lefty EDC. If you haven't had a chance, go check him out. This is the Kizer Hyper. It's a pretty cool little knife. It is a button lock. These are aluminum scales. And it is in, let's see, S35VN blade steel. You can see that right there. And the button lock works really nicely. It is thumb studs. These are almost like barrel thumb studs, but you can see it's a small volcano there, so it does work. They're pretty thick scales. Let's see, is there any milling? No. I mean, besides the hole there, giant speed hole, there's no milling. It is a deep pocket carry clip. I love this pocket carry clip. It almost looks like a milled titanium, but it's not. It's steel. Just in case you're curious, it is steel. But these aluminum scales are pretty nice. Now, I didn't find a knife with these scales by themselves. Typically, it comes in a red and a blue, or a red and a black. And to get these, they normally are a second set of scales that you get from Kizer. So the knife normally is about $120. There is a premium version for about $180, and that one has titanium scales with a green part on there. I think it's kind of green, which kind of ruins it for me, honestly. Well, wait, hold on a second. I'm crazy. It's not green, it's black. It's titanium with a black, and it is kind of cool. I mean, and it is LMAX steel, so there you go. Now, this is a, I guess we can call, let's see, well, what do they call it? What's the term that they use for this one? What's the blade steel? Come on, drop point. What call it a drop point? I don't know. This looks almost like a sheep's foot to me. I wouldn't call this a drop point personally. It is a sheep's foot modified Warncliffe. I don't know. I think that is not a great name. Anyways, all right, so the name of the knife is the Hyper. The knife manufacturer is Kizer, and the designer for this particular one, excuse me, is, it says on here, I believe, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. All right, so it must be an in-house design, because I don't see who the designer is on this. Yeah, so it is an in-house design. It's S35, CPM S35 VN blade steel, which is a pretty good, you know, very reliable type of steel. You can see the Hyper name up there, black thumb studs. So I think that's pretty cool. It is a flat grind. It does flatten up here, so it's not a full flat grind. Pretty thick, robust. We'll do some measurements here in a second, but not a bad little knife. I think it's interesting. I do have large hands, so I can get my large hands on here, which, you know, and I can choke up here. So extra large probably could do this knife comfortably. Double extra large if you're willing to choke up. Now notice that the pocket clip is reversible and it hides into the scale. I think that's cool. I didn't take this apart. It's not my knife, so I don't take these things apart. But I am curious how it locks in there. I am sure somehow this must go this way or something, and that's how it locks in. But anyways, you can see with aluminum, as it's being passed around, this knife got beat up quite a bit. So I guess some of the guys in the pass around group, they do hard use test on there. I didn't think we were supposed to do that, but I guess they do. I try not to. I keep it at the desk, and that's it. And when I get it this far down in the list, the knife is beat up, and it doesn't look as great, which is unfortunate because I was trying to show you what it looks like as out of the OEM, out of the box. And, you know, it is a bummer. But I'm sure it looks really nice, you know, especially, you know, with the purple and black scales. I mean, that is a nice color combination. I do like that. I just don't know who sells it like as a knife together with this combination, because I think everywhere I saw you have to buy the scale separately. But if you do that, it's like $180. So just know that, you know, it's 120 bucks for the knife, another 60 bucks for the scale. So, but it is pretty cool. What else? Stone washed blade. It is nice and soft on the corners. Nothing really sharp up there. I would say chamfered all the way around, which is really nice. Even the clip, there's no hot spots when you grip it. It is button lock, so, you know, left-handed, can you disengage it with squeezing it up here? No, I really can't. I don't know who can. If you can, I guess, you know, you've got massive hands and giant calluses that protrude out of your hand because you've been, I don't know, carrying 100-pound or 2-ton, you know, pipes or whatever. I guess you could do that. But if you do that, you'd probably crush the aluminum on this anyways. All right, so I know that's a little exaggeration, but it is a plunge lock. Nice and centered, which I think is really cool. It does retain that well. No blade play in there really solidly. I like that. It has a little bit of pivot lash, but it's not bad. It's not detent here, what we call a detent lock. That would be the plunge lock as it locks, but it doesn't rock or shake too much, so that's really nice. It feels in there really solid, and that has a lot to do with the plunge lock as it engages with the spring that's in there. It pushes down into this little channel in the blade. So, yeah, works pretty well. Materials are nice. I personally, if I really loved this, I think I would probably get the titanium version with the LMAX. I think that would be super sick. I wonder, I should take a look here real quick. Does that one have that titanium clip too? Because I would be curious. Is that a titanium clip? Because, you know, I don't know. That would just be kind of sick. You know what I mean? So, let's see. Does it say if the clip is titanium? I hope it is. I mean, you know, if you're going to charge that much, you should definitely, if you're going to have titanium handles, the clip should be titanium. It doesn't say, so I would hope so. That would be my kind of thing, right? So, but that would be the one I would probably go for. The action's pretty good. It's cage ceramic bearings, so that's nice. Action works really well. You know, you can do the typical drop and open with the button as well, but the thumb studs work really well, both left and right-handed. So, because, you know, it's ambidextrous when you have the button lock, I think. And especially with the clip, that doesn't hurt. So, you know, it's always nice you can do that. It closes well, it opens well. I think all of that stuff is pretty cool. All right, so let's get a measurement. Let's see how much this guy weighs. You know, it's aluminum, so I don't expect it to weigh a whole lot. All right, so this says 2.7 ounces, 2.7 ounces. That's pretty light. That's pretty light. Let's get the overall length on this knife. It's not a long knife, so we're looking at a knife. Let's get to the very tip there. Knife that's about 7 1/8 of an inch, so it's just over 7 inches. The overall handle length, you know, from here to here, about 3.5 inches. If you do choke up, you can probably get about 4 inches of handle length. From the tip to the top of the scales, we are right at 3 inches exactly. If you look at cutting length is going to be, I want to say 2 7/8. So there you go. I mean, you know, some places that could be legal and maybe not in others. So just keep that in mind. Blade stock thickness, we are looking at 119 thousandths of an inch, so 0.119 or 0.12 inches, about average. You know, it's pretty, you know, thick workhorse type of knife. Definitely has a nice tip, robust tip, easy for poking. But because it is like this, you know, I want to say modified reverse Wharncliffe sheep's foot, you can definitely do a pinch grip and do some precision cuts. I think that's nice. I like that idea a lot. So I think that's cool. All right, so what is this? Is this a budget knife? No, it's over $100. It's $120 just as is like this. So if you get the extra scales, you're spending about $180. So it still puts it into the regular area if that's a knife that you like. So about 180 bucks. With this type of scale, if you wanted the other scales, I believe it's blue and red, blue and red, or blue and black, that's $120. So I think it's pretty good. You know, for 120 bucks, it's close to being a budget knife. It's a really good value standard regular knife. It would be a little more expensive, you know, budget knife, but I like it. I like it. Is it EDC? Absolutely EDC. You know, cutting boxes, letters, envelopes, I think no problem. Hard use, it is a button lock, and I always recommend not using button lock for hard use because the whole plunge lock and the spring and the whole physics there, it just doesn't do well to vibration and hits and things like that. It could disengage the lock. That's just how the physics of it work. Unless you lock that plunge in there somehow and have a sealed lock in there, then I would be cautious for hard use. I think hard use in the sense of cutting a lot of boxes, working in a warehouse, or, you know, cleaning up your garage, I think it's absolutely fine. It's a collection piece. I mean, you know, it's not a budget, so, you know, it could be. I mean, the color's cool, and if you really dig that and you love the Kizer, you love Kizer and these things, go for it, man. Then go for it. Collect away. For me, it's not really quite a collection piece. Overall design, I like the chamfering. I like the grip. It works really well in hand. I like the button lock. The button lock's smooth and just buttery. Thumb studs work really well, both left and right hand. And thumb flicking, reverse flicking, I like that. The button lock works really well to open and close as well, if you remember how to do it. So I like that. I like the deep pocket carry clip. It does kind of tend to hide itself, in your pocket well. I like that as well. So I think that's cool. Yeah, and opening, closing, just really, really nice. So fidget factor, well, this is definitely a 4. You've got, actually it's going to be a 5. I'm going to give this a 5. It is a button lock because you can open and close it like a button lock. The thumb studs work really well, left and right handed, right? Left and right handed works really well, and the button lock works really well. So I like that. I like that a lot. So it's definitely a 5. Now, fidgety goodness, I'm going to give it a 90. It's going to be a solid A-. Now, the reason why I took off 10 points is these, there's not really a cutaway to angle in there, so you're kind of high. You have to kind of dig in, get there, and then flick it. If you go at the top, it's easy to sometimes to miss it, to go past it, right? Because the scales are so thick. I would like to have seen a little more of a chamfered, a little more of a cutaway leading into that thumb stud. Makes it a little more, easier to work, or easier. How can I say it? It guides your finger to how the button lock, how the thumb stud should deploy the knife. And it's not just quite there. And so sometimes I miss. I don't like that. And then reversing, sometimes you miss as well. And the volcano edge here, as far as the thumb studs, it's very shallow. So you have just this little area up here. You're not guided. So if you up here and you miss it, it's a little rough. It's not as welcoming, if you will, for deployment. But it does work. It does work really well. That's why it's a solid A-. Absolutely. Overall thoughts. Is it recommended? Yeah, it's recommended. I mean, I think it's absolutely a good regular knife. It could be a budget knife. S35VN with these scales, I mean, I don't know. I think, it's S35VN. I know, 14C28N. Maybe it'd been under $100. I don't know. I've seen S35VN blade steel on knives under $100. So, I think it's a recommended knife for 120. I think it's a really nice premium budget knife, or it's a good affordable standard knife. But I think it is recommended. Is it an absolute favorite for me? No, but I think if you know friends who love this knife, I'd buy it as a gift. I would recommend and say, hey, check this out. This is a knife I think you could buy, and I think you'd be happy with if you wanted a button lock. It is unique. The design is very modern. I like that. So it could appeal to certain people who might not find some knives, at least the knives we all talk about and carry, as appealing. And this one is. It's unique, and it has different colors. This is the purple and black. There's red and blue, and then there's a red and black. And I think that offers some some choices that I think are pretty cool. So I like that. Yeah. Very cool little knife. I think you would be happy with this knife. I think it would be a good choice. So that's my thoughts. Hey, do you have any questions about my review, my impressions? I'd love to hear from you. If you disagree, I would love to hear what your thoughts are. I am totally fine with that. That's what I enjoy about this channel. So before I leave, let's just go ahead and do a little kind of close-up. Sometimes people want to see a little closeness. All right, so let me zoom in on the blade. Come on, focus. Here's the blade, stone washed, and here's the handle. All right. And here's the back. Now notice these are T8s all the way around, which I like. I like that a lot. There's a handle and a clip. And here's a blade here. Look at inside. Look at the top. One standoff and that's it. Yeah, nice little knife. Nice little knife indeed. So if you have any questions, like I said, let me know in the comments down below. Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, informative, or just cool, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, would you please consider hitting the subscribe button? Subscribing and liking the channel really, really helps out the channel. Allows me to produce more content, allows the channel to grow, allows me just to do more things for you guys. So thank you. Thank you to every one of you guys. I just want to say thank you to you people who watch the videos, who subscribe, who like. I appreciate you guys very, very much. And if you haven't already, maybe hit that notification button so you can be notified of future content. And to all my channel members out there, hey, a big thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you guys. I sincerely do. I know a lot of you have been part of this since we started, and I appreciate your support and your encouragement. It really does help, especially when it's tough and work is hard. And I'm thinking, I've been committing to do a video every day, and sometimes that's been hard. And you guys really make it your encouragement, and I just want to say thank you to you guys a lot. And if any of you guys were on the fence thinking, hey, I might want to be a channel member, I have 3 different tiers. A very affordable one, and they're not crazy expensive, okay? So we're talking like $3, $5, $10, whatever. If you're interested, please don't ever feel like you have to be. I just appreciate you guys watching the video, subscribing. I appreciate that. But if you want to be a channel member, you want to jump in and help support, I would appreciate it. I'd be honored. I really would. And my way to say thank you, I do a giveaway once a month, just so you know. And also, first time, channel members, I'll make sure you get a sticker. And if you're like the Uber nerd, you tier 3, then you get a special, Uber nerd sticker, very cool holographic sticker. There's also exclusive content, early release content, polls, different things, and my undying gratitude. I appreciate you guys, so thank you. Hey, and if you haven't already, maybe also check me out over on Instagram at Robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at Robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.